So often people do not understand the correlation between your health and fitness and being in great shape and the amount of money that you make. And what I'm about to share with you, this isn't a theory that I have or like a guess that I just pulled out of my butt. I've been doing this for almost a decade at this point, and we've coached over 3,000 career-driven, highly successful professional women in our one-to-one coaching program, and run one of the most successful online female fitness coaching programs within the entire industry. And probably over the last 8+ years at this point, I've probably had between texts, DMs, phone calls, Zooms, probably spoken to 20, 30, 40,000 individuals at this point. So this isn't something that I'm just, making up. I've been in the trenches. These are conversations that I've had and dots that I've connected. And what I've typically saw is people that are struggling within their health and fitness and they're struggling with their weight are oftentimes struggling financially, or they're not where they want to be as far as wealth and financial freedom or in their career and in their work and such. Right. And this is why I love fitness so much, because when you start winning in fitness, it opens up opportunities and allows you to flourish in all other areas of your life, from your finances to your relationships, your career, your happiness, your fulfillment, whatever. I truly believe that like health and fitness is the vehicle to go out and get what you want in life when you make your health and fitness a priority. But it really boils down to, habits, behaviors, and actions. Delayed gratification, like I think, two examples here of how I feel like they're correlated. It's like somebody who has, a really long day at work. They're tired, they're stressed, they're trying to lose weight, they don't feel good, they're not confident in how they look, and they've been trying to lose weight for a long time. They get home, they could cook a healthy meal. They have this stuff. They, went grocery shopping Sunday. They have all the healthy food, but they're so hungry. They're tired. They're stressed. They just want to eat and watch Netflix. So they order like Chinese food on DoorDash, knowing that that's going to be a short-term dopamine hit, but long-term, that's not going to get them closer to their goals, right? It's the same thing for somebody who, maybe you're financially, right? Like you're out with friends and you notice one of your friends, or you see a girl somewhere, or a woman somewhere, and she has like a really nice Louis Vuitton purse. And you feel like you've always wanted a designer luxury handbag, and you go and put, $2,000, $2,500 on a credit card to buy a handbag, where deep down you want to, save for retirement. You want to have, plenty in savings. You want to have an emergency fund. You want to invest into a Roth IRA, but, you care about what other people think of you and your self-image. So you can't help it. And then you put $2,000 on a credit card to buy a purse, or to book a trip so you can put it on Instagram or Facebook and show that you're somewhere, a trip you really couldn't afford, and you put 2, 3, 4K on a credit card to take this, week-long trip somewhere. Where again, in both scenarios, like in the short term, you get a dopamine hit. Like, yeah, sure, vacation's fun, but it's really taking you away from like building a savings, building a nest egg, retirement. And it's the same thing with fitness. So a lot of people that cannot delay gratification, they want to feel, good right in that moment, regardless of the consequences. You see that happen. And I think that quote is so, I forget who said it, but how you do one thing is how you do everything. Oftentimes people are not like super disciplined behavior wise in one area of life, and then a complete mess in another area of life. Right. And it's not only just, it's other variables as well. It's like if you say you're going to wake up and work out first thing in the morning, you click snooze 7 times, you don't keep that commitment or promise. You say you're going to eat a healthy breakfast, but you go into Starbucks, you get something you shouldn't, you get a super sugary coffee, and maybe you're a real estate agent. Because I had this conversation with a real estate person, like woman, 4 or 5 months ago. I remember this. Then you get into the office and you needed to bang out about 40, 50 calls on these different leads that came in through the, over the weekend. They're looking at homes and stuff. You've already broken about 3 or 4 promises to yourself. You have no momentum. So is she going to call the leads? She could, but she's like 0 for 3 today so far on what she said she was going to do and following through on her word. She's probably not going to make those 40, 50 calls. If you're a betting person, you're like, well, you already said you're going to wake up early. You said you're going to eat a healthy breakfast. You didn't. You said you're going to work out. You didn't. But then you're going to go and, tell yourself first thing Monday morning, you're going to bang out 30, 40, 50 calls to leads of people who are interested in looking at these homes or listing their homes. Probably not. So my point is like, once we see a woman come into our program and, health and fitness is hard. Like losing weight is hard. It's uncomfortable doing things that are, not what you've done for months upon years in some cases, and evolving and changing your habits and your behavior and your lifestyle is not easy. And health and fitness is hard. But once you build that momentum and you keep commitments and promises to yourself within your health and fitness, you'll start to notice that you keep those commitments and promises to yourself in other areas of life as well. Like that same woman, that same example, she got up, first alarm, boom, she's up. She got an amazing workout in. She ate a really healthy breakfast, high in protein, low in carb, whatever the case may be. And she's like 3 for 3 already. And then she gets in the office at 8, 9 o'clock. Well, she's already kept her word and kept her promises. I imagine she's going to bang out the calls and call the leads that she needs to, right? That's one example. We were having the conversation like where she's talking about how her real estate business was struggling, and a couple of years ago she had her best year ever. And I was like, what are you not doing now that you're doing then? And she's like, well, I was making more calls. I was door knocking. She was doing all this prospecting stuff. And then I asked her, I'm like, why aren't you doing it now? And like, where was your health and fitness, a couple of years ago? And she's like, well, I was like 30, 40 pounds less, like the last couple of years been stressful, coming out of a relationship. And, so again, it's like when she was really on and had her best real estate career a couple of years ago, she was really good shape. She was working out, she was active, she was eating right, and her real estate business was doing well. Last couple of years, she's gained 30, 40 pounds. She's lethargic. She's tired. She doesn't have the confidence and pep to her step that she used to. And then she's also not doing what she needs to do at a real estate business. So it's like no wonder that she's struggling as far as her real estate goes. This is something that I see all the time with people where they had periods in the past where they're really successful in their career and they're making all this money and they're getting promotions and stuff. And then they stopped making their health and fitness a priority. And then they really started to struggle. So to summarize this, I see it in two aspects: making more money and then saving more money. When you are taking care of your health and fitness and you're eating right, you're moving your body, you're prioritizing sleep, you're staying hydrated, your body's going to feel better. You're going to be more focused. You're going to be more productive. Chances are that's going to make you more money. You're going to be more confident. So when you walk into an interview and ask for a raise, you're going to be more confident in asking for that because you know your worth. You have more self-respect. Like, that's not going to make you less money. There's a high likelihood that's going to make you more money within your career. Maybe you have the energy to start a side hustle or whatever the case may be. So oftentimes when you make your health and fitness a priority, you end up making more money. I've seen that with clients all the time. I swear a couple times a month we'll have somebody who's promoted or set a record sales month that they're in sales, or got a new designation that's going to allow them to make more money or acquire more skills or whatever the case may be. We see it all the time when women start making their health and fitness a priority. And so not only do they make more money, but they tend to save more as well. I believe life is about balance, but when we bring in a woman with us, I haven't drank alcohol in almost 2 years at this point. All of my coaches, nobody really drinks, not only my coaches, but our entire team. And we're pretty vocal about that. And even though we work with grown ass women, like if they want to drink, they can drink. But oftentimes, like when they get into our program and they see us talking about not drinking alcohol, typically we'll find a lot of women either cut it out completely while working with us, or they won't drink at all, or really dial it back. And again, right there, like in today's world, you go out couple days a week, or even once a week, 3 or 4 times a month. I mean, there's easily $200, $300, $400 right there. I remember when I lived in Chicago, you'd go and get like a burger and fries and have 3 or 4 beers, or even a couple mixed drinks. I mean, it was $100 every single time. And I used to do that 3 or 4 times a month or more, especially like, in my early 20s, I probably spent $800-900 a month just on going out and such. So, and you might sit there and say like, well, I don't go out or whatever. But you don't buy the junk food at the grocery store. You don't buy, the crap that you don't need and stuff. So a lot of people are like, well, eating healthy is expensive, but it's like, you stop at a gas station, you get like a big fountain drink. When you're more conscious of those decisions, you tend to cut it back. The biggest one that I see is people cutting back on alcohol. Women that work with us, so they save money. They save money by not going out as much. We did a survey like 2.5 years ago, and we found the average client saves about $200 to $250 a month with us, just in their groceries and cutting back on drinking. And that was two years ago. If you know anything about the economy now, like things are even more expensive. So like drinking, alcohol has gone up, all those sorts of things. And just, the other thing too is like when you drink, you don't make the best decisions. You start shopping online or you buy something that you shouldn't or whatever. Like I used to do things like that back in the day. Like, oh, I'll get the next round for everybody. When you're not drinking, you're not doing those things, especially if you're not going out as much and stuff. Because we've had a woman that was spending she actually lived in Chicago, client from 4 or 5 years ago, and we were on a call to see if our program was a fit. And we were just talking, and she pulled up her DoorDash or Grubhub app, and she had spent like $580 over the last month on that, and right there, she cut that out and she could afford our program. So not to say, again, I'm a big DoorDash guy. I do it a lot. So I'm not saying that's inherently bad, but I'm just saying oftentimes when you're in a season where you're making your health and fitness a priority, you don't, eat out as much, because you can find healthy options on DoorDash, but when people DoorDash, they usually don't get healthy options. It's like Chinese food. It's like burgers, fast food, something they probably shouldn't be getting that isn't advantageous to their health and fitness goals. So again, I wrap this up by saying this a little bit of a long rant here, but I see this a lot. There's a high correlation between people who are struggling financially and they're not where they want to be, and they're also struggling within their health and fitness as well. You make your health and fitness a priority. I promise you, in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, no matter what career or industry you're in, you're not going to make less money by making your health and fitness a priority. Chances are, I would bet on you're going to make more money. You could get promotion. You could start a side hustle. You have more energy. You're more productive. You're more focused. It's going to be a wash, worst case scenario. High likelihood that you'll make more money. Secondly, you're going to save more. You're not drinking as much. You're not going out as much. You're not, buying things that you shouldn't, doing things that you shouldn't, when you make your health and fitness a priority. So oftentimes, what we see with clients when they make their health and fitness a priority, not are they making more money, but they're also saving more money as well, which is awesome, right? So hopefully that hits home and gives you something to think about, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.